So now that you know how to complete most of the online revised text breakdown sheet, I'm going to explain part 3 a little bit more. So when you're selecting facts from the article that would make for effective support in your paper, it's important to go through and read that article very carefully. That way you can come up with really good supports for your paper. So these 3 are examples of citations that I used in my own paper in the graduate course that I took last spring. So what I did was I started with the actual article from EBSCOhost. And for me, I like to print these off and annotate them on paper, but if you prefer to annotate digitally, go ahead. What's important is that you prioritize information and think critically about how it fits into your thesis statement. So one of the things that I thought was really important for this article was how the authors came to the conclusion that a text-only environment would be better for student writers. And so I selected this quote here. Now, when I went to incorporate that in my paper, I wanted to talk about where that information was coming from. So I gave a brief summary of what happened in the article right before this particular quote popped up. So let me take you back and show you the original article again. So in the original article, this is a much larger block of text, and it's discussing in general how the different advantages in this particular kind of student assistance can be beneficial even though it is a text-only environment. Previous research had proven that you wanted video chat, that you wanted audio, that you wanted it to be as much like face-to-face as possible. But this research indicated the opposite. So in order to present those findings, I wanted to make sure that I really established that idea that these were the ideal Writing Center consultation devices, wikis, and then present the information that the authors themselves presented to back that up. Now notice, because I didn't want to cite a huge block of text, I used the ellipses. And here if you just do ... and then include the brief quotation that you want to include, you can cut out a lot of those larger quotations and make it so that the source isn't speaking for you, but you're still using the source material to present a strong support. Here I included this little S in a bracket just so that the reader would know that that wasn't in the original. I eliminated some unneeded words here, but kept most of this last quote intact because I thought it said the most important thing that it needed to say for that particular part of my paper. So I've been talking a lot about this paper, but I haven't shown you where this showed up in it yet. So here I have the actual quote in the natural habitat of my research paper. And if you'll notice, I have a topic sentence up here that explains exactly what I'm talking about in this paragraph. So I talk about the fact that previously students didn't want to use video chat, that it was uncomfortable in terms of technology, and that there needed to be more research on a better model. So I explained how, because of this hypothesis, the hypothesis that video chat was not good for students, these 2 researchers developed a asynchronous or a written, no real time, no chat, no video type of model for Writing Center consultation. And I explained what their methods were in exploring that particular model. Then I presented their findings in their own words. So I've already done a whole lot of work to incorporate this particular quote, but I still need to frame this in terms of where I'm going with this information. So that's why I include this commentary on the research that I'm presenting in this paragraph, and I close that paragraph by explaining exactly how it relates not only to the topic of this paragraph, but to my thesis statement in general. So I say that this model, the model that they've been talking about, that they researched, actually achieves what they were trying to achieve, and how it's really the one most likely to benefit student learning. So I'm recommending to other instructors that based on this research that I summarized and paraphrased here, we should be looking at a different kind of model than previously accepted. So even though you are providing information, you want to make sure that the information you're providing relates back to what you're trying to say about the particular source. And it doesn't just let the source speak for itself or ask the reader to put the source material together to form their own conclusion. Primarily, what you want to do is try to paraphrase more than directly quote, because that way you're already explaining and analyzing the material before you've even given the source material to your audience. So this is not an easy part. In fact, this is the hardest part of the class, but the good news is that the class is here to help you learn it. We don't expect you to be experts yet, but we do expect you to try it. So if you have any questions about how to integrate and analyze research, or how to select particular pieces of source information from your articles, just let your instructor or me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. Good luck!